Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Oh my goodness, can you believe it's March 7th already? Come right on in. This is Think and Grow Rich. This is Leslie Flowers, and I'll play you a little music and song as you come in because every day is a new day, isn't it? Today's an especially good day for me, especially. So here we go. Here's how I'm feeling. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life starting today for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey, Nicole. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. A river running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life today for me. And I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling so good. Dragonfly out in the sun. You know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun. You know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done. That is what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Oh, for me. Oh, it's so good to see you all. Hi, Nick and Valencia. Hi, Liana and Michelle and Monique and Liana and Lisa. Hey, everybody. And there's Gary with big python hugs. Hi, Gary. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling so good today. I feel so good. And I'm feeling good. Yeah. Hey, everybody. I feel so good. Oh, hi, Dr. Ann John. Oh, I'm sorry. Please feel me a little unwell. Oh, so good morning, everybody. I'm Leslie Flowers. You know, big breakthrough for me last night, overnight. And let me just get this ready for after when we're finished. Okay. Sometimes what we want, even though we believe that we have desire in it, it's next for us. Sometimes it isn't. As much as we want things, sometimes we may know internally that this is not the right time. And if you're obstinate like me, and if you set and achieved as many goals as I have, you don't like to give up. So I'll explain a little bit as we go through, but let me just say that every day is a new day. And if something is difficult on your heart and you can't decide what to do about it, consider that you already know what to do about it and you've simply been resisting it. So today I feel like a whole new world has opened up, and that's why I picked that Michael Bublé song. Because for several months I have had a goal in front of me that had so many challenges that it was the middle of the night when the universe finally said what I've been avoiding. This is not the time. So it's freed me completely for a whole new way of living with all new wonderful opportunities. While it was difficult to let go, it will live on what I've done, and I have something new to do. So let me just say hello to all of you before we get started. Today is about Principles 11 and 12. I'm Leslie Flowers, and I'm a master on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and I've been teaching here and Facebook and everywhere for 16 years, 20,000 hours. I love this work. I live this work. But even with me knowing what I know and helping over 500 people learn the process to set and achieve goals every time, no one's perfect. So no matter how aware you are, we're all still growing. And they're all new things for us to learn. So for me, I'm really in a great place today, and I can't wait to share this with you. Today, we're going to talk about Principles 11 and 12, the subconscious mind and the brain. Now, keep in mind that this was written, Think and Grow Rich, 100 years ago. So their understanding at the time of the mind was very limited. It wasn't until the 1960s, I think, 50s and 60s, where people really started to take a look at self-image and changing from the inside out. And I've discovered that with those who are degreed, university degreed in therapy, in neurobiology, neuropsych, all of that, they don't know this. Why don't they know this? Because their teachers didn't know. Same reason that no one ever taught us how to set a goal. No one ever gave us the process. I've asked this question for 16 years through countless of presentations, live and in person, and also on, telesummits, etc., Zoom. And no one was ever taught. So I'm here to show you something new today, maybe, or you've seen it before. Now, once you see this, I invite you to simply consider adding what resonates with you to what you already know. Okay, it's not like this replaces that. This is designed to expand what you already know, to include these concepts. And I will tell you, once will probably not be enough for you to assimilate it, because we learn through repetition. Repetition is the first law of learning. So once may not be enough, but it could inspire you or set off a light bulb where you say, okay, let me just look at that one more time. The first time I saw this information was with Bob Proctor in 2008. And it took me 20 times teaching the model to myself before I was able to absorb it and then turn it around and teach you. And that's how it works, right? Whatever you're an expert in, first there's a lot of confusion and then clarity and then more confusion and then clarity. And finally, you get to a place of clarity, and you can now teach it in a very simple process. So that's kind of what I've been doing for the last 16 years. So let me say hello to you. Here is our darling Nicole. Good morning, beautiful lady. So glad you're here. Valencia, so glad you're here. I owe you a private message. I have not forgotten. You are heavy on my mind. I got a few physical things that I'm dealing with. And Ileana, so glad you're here. Yes, it's a new day. And yes, there's my wonderful Dr. Anjan Banerjee. He's a physician in India, one of my staunchest supporters. Well, all of you are. You've all been here many times. So, and if you're new, I'm so excited that you were inspired to be here. There's Michelle Bodenhorn. Love her. Oh, yeah. You like the song? Well, it was perfect, wasn't it? Because I woke up after a sleep and grappling with something for a long time, trying to decide whether it was my ego, my subconscious, my automatic fears that were asking me to look at this a different way, or was it the universe through intuition that has been guiding me all along? The universe is always right. You don't always listen. I mean, sometimes the universe has to hit you over the head with a 2x4, right? You've been there. So, Monique, so glad you're here. I know I've met you before. Thank you for being here. This is a 45-minute training. Hi, Leanna. Thank you for always supporting. It's a teaching lesson. That's why I do it in 45 minutes, because it's a different kind of comprehension. This is the kind of stuff that will have you grow in your own conscious awareness of your infinite potential once you get it. And there's Lisa Fevick, our registered dietitian, focusing on eating right during the menopause. Decades. Thank you. No one ever told us it would be decades, Lisa. Lisa's good with what foods help alleviate all of the problems we have. And they're good eating tips anyway. She has a newsletter. Oh, there we go. Oh, you said Lena Horne. Well, thank you. See, I'm a child of the 50s, so my parents listened to all the big band stuff. It's funny now that I'm older. I like that music too. It reminds me of when I was a little girl in the comfort and warmth of home. Memory is very powerful because when you think of those things, the visual image comes up on the screen of your mind and the cellular vibration of love and kindness. So you feel good all over when you think those things. So do that for yourself. Oops, we did that already. All right, let me see. Where am I? Oh gosh, hang on a second. I want to catch you all really. And I know what I'm going to do. I worked on this out yesterday, so we'll be able to do this. Somehow I slipped down here. Okay, all right. There's Ashif. Hi, Ashif. Ashif is in Toronto, big supporter of thought leadership, emotional intelligence. We're all here for this. Oops, okay. No one likes to give up. You're right. Oh, I forgot that you are, Michelle likes to converse. And it's wonderful because it drives up the comments, but I got to be a little selective here with my time. So love you, Michelle. You're the best. There's Bethan. Hi, Bethan. So glad I missed you last week. Bethan is a coach in the United Kingdom. It must be almost tea time there, maybe 3:00 or so. And there's Linda Meyer, hails from Italy, is a chef. Get to know Linda. She's a big supporter of all of these rooms. I live sheer commitment. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let me go on. Oh, look, there's Joni Hargrave. Hey, beautiful Joni. Oh my God, you're something else. Y'all get to know each other. And hello, Margaret. I don't know that I've met you, but let's connect and make sure. I'm so glad that you're here. Jeremy, it's been a while. Actually, the B is an F, but I think everybody knows that. And we have someone new here, Dr. Renee. Well, hello, Dr. Renee. So glad to have you here. This is a study on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. We do it for 12 weeks and then we do it again. It's never the same twice. And today we're looking at the subconscious mind and the brain because people don't understand the distinction and they tend in general to collapse them as one and the same. Today you'll see the distinction. It'll make you smarter. You'll realize what's going on with people in your lives and in yourself. First, look at it from internally before you look at someone else. Oh, Brian Proctor. Yes, he's the son of son or grandson. Gosh, I think it's his son. Yeah, I trained and certified with Bob Proctor in 2008, and he is still, by today's standards, the world's greatest thought leader in Napoleon Hill's work on Think and Grow Rich. Oops. Oh, yeah, you got it right now. Okay. No problem. Oh, Nitish, thank you so much for being here. So glad that you're here. And more people will be coming in, and I will do my very best to catch you. But once we get into the lesson, I suggest that you turn off your phones, get out a notepad. You can do a couple of screenshots. Remember, this is my stuff. And it also lives on my page. So nobody owns any ideas, not really. It's just how we use them. And Elizabeth is a nurse and a hypnotherapist and a very good friend. She's up in Rhode Island. And there is the most wonderful Alon. So glad you're here. Thank you, Alon. I love it when you show up. I haven't seen you in a while. And there is our dear Charles Caldwell. Interested to hear about your breakthrough, Leslie. Product of breakthroughs are a product of seeing something in a new way, which enables you to see opportunities and new openings for action that you couldn't see before. Breakthroughs come as a result of shifting your commitment from predictable future to the possible future. Yes. And Warner Earhart learned everything he knows from me. Charles, I just want you to realize that I was on the 12th floor of the Fox Plaza building when EST first began. So I was there, and Werner used to come up and have coffee with me, and I would teach him everything I know, and then he'd go back down and teach them. No, I'm kidding. Okay, it's just a little joke between friends. All right, I think I got everybody. All right, everybody ready? Are you ready? Okay, we're 20 minutes in. And Charles asked about the breakthrough. It simply was, let me just tell you this. Most of you know that I wrote a book last summer, or finished writing a book last summer, that is a science fiction and fantasy. And it won first place international, or number one bestseller international in science fiction and fantasy and fiction and literature. And it took 25 years to produce. So it started 25 years ago when I was driving 4 hours each way every weekend to open a chocolate company in the mountains of North Carolina. And I didn't have cruise control. I didn't have audiobooks. And so I started to visualize and imagine a place where virtues, values, and love existed all the time. And so every 4 hours when I get to the office in the mountains of North Carolina, which are part of the town isn't there now, I would jot down, what did I visualize? And this was all the outline for the book I wrote a few years ago, or finally put together. So at that time, I was not prepared to write the book about virtues, values, and soul-kissing love. I didn't know enough. It was 25 years ago. I've been studying all this time. But what it was being in love. It was that super high vibration of love that allowed me to do the visualizing. And I did that for months. And then I did nothing for 23 years. Then the idea came back. So all I can tell you is that errata and the audiobook complete a cycle. Will there be an errata 2? While I began it, now is not the time. I am not ready to write it. It does not have my heart like the first one did. But there are other things that I have set aside that do have my heart. And the law of sacrifice says that you must give up something of lesser value to replace it with something of greater value. This became lesser value because it didn't have my heart or desire. Not now. I'm not ready to do it. But as soon as I heard the voice of the universe overnight tell me this. All of a sudden, it was a new dawn, a new day, and all those things that I set aside that I love doing, I get to pick one of them and do it now. So when one door opens, the other one closes, and let's get going, shall we? All right, we're at 10:20. We have 25 minutes. So why am I doing this? I told you, because wherever I hear very smart people and educated people flip-flopping mind and brain and not knowing anything that distinguishes them, and so few seem interested, maybe they're not ready. Because I've proposed this to people that are degreed. Now, Elizabeth, who I introduced you to, she has done my course. There are very few people that understand the scientific and the education part of it and this part of it. Oops. Oh my goodness. Guess who didn't turn off her phone after she sang? Anyway, that sounds kind of pretty. So very few of your degreed people that I have run into, this is my experience. And even when I mention it, people don't seem ready. Well, maybe it's everybody's ready at their own time. So I'm hoping that what I share with you today sparks a light, a little bit of interest, gets you a little bit deeper into your own mind. You know things about yourself, but this is different. You see, we think in pictures. And every picture or graphic image that we visualize on the screen of our mind using our imagination, screen of your mind is right here when you close your eyes. In the graphic image is a cellular vibration, which is mind. And the amplitude of vibration is what causes manifestation. So if you want something very, very, very much and you visualize it a lot, that amplitude of vibration, determines the speed with which what you're thinking about will arrive. And keep in mind, it can be something you love or something you hate. Mostly we visualize by default. They betrayed me. What can I do to get back at them? And since we learn in repetition, unfortunately, all of our fears are stronger than our connection to the universe. And that's what our work is. Our work is to understand how our mind works and then to outwit it and outweigh it. That's because we have conscious awareness. No one else has no other living thing has conscious awareness that we know. Maybe a crow. And Elizabeth's dog, Toulouse, I think might have some conscious awareness, because when he hears my voice, she said he runs to the computer. He knows me. It's not the first time I've had animals studying with me with their owners, right? And then they're right there. I don't know. Maybe it's the vibration. What do you think? It might be. So I'm so glad that you're all here. Let me just make sure no one else has come in here. Okay, good. Now, there's 3 dots at the bottom of your screen. If you click on that, you can see where you can view event details. And you can share this event without losing this live if you know anybody that would be interested. Also, I recommend that you listen to this again. You will find that you'll see something new every time, simply because when you entered this room today, my friends, you were at one level of conscious awareness. And when you step away, you'll be at a higher level, understanding your infinite potential. Okay. All right. You ready? Here we go. Let me switch this up a little bit here. Yeah. So this is principles 11 and 12 of the 13 principles of success. And it's very interesting. It was 100 years ago. So they didn't know a lot about the mind. So Bob Proctor spent 45, 50 years on top of this work. And then I've done 17 years now on top of his work, evolving it even further. Here we go. All right. I know you can all see this. So let's just start with the basics here. And I'm making this as simple as I can for you to consider, and I will do my best to answer any questions you have. So if you have a question, drop it in the chat. Let me know if something isn't clear. Okay, let me just scroll down here. That's Toulouse, the puppy. Okay. All right. So the brain, as you know, is a physical organ. And I put a lot more notes than I usually do because I usually speak to these points. But I want you to understand that brain and mind are not the same at all. They're connected. The brain is a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. And notice I'm starting with the 12th principle instead of the 11th. Because, well, I don't think it really matters as long as you understand the distinction. This is the biological foundation for the mind. Without the brain, you wouldn't be thinking. Well, you wouldn't be doing a lot of things, right? Because the brain actually manages all our physical systems, as you well know. This allows mental processes, and the brain processes sensory input through our 5 senses. So that's the brain. It's like, what if the brain, let's look at it as your radio. I think people have radio still. I always picture the 1956 Chevy Tuck and Roll and that old radio that was all cloudy. The plastic was now yellow. That is your brain. And then your mind adjusts and tunes into the proper frequency. Very different. So the brain is your physical organ, and it accepts and receives. And there's a lot going on there with a lot of creating of neural pathways, which is a little deeper subject. But it's your mind that does it all. Your brain doesn't do anything. It just simply directs. That's it. Let's take care of the feet. Let's take care of the arm. Let's do the eyes, right? It's automatic. It doesn't think at all. Mind is a cellular activity. Bruce Lipton with Biology of Belief and James Brody, Virus of the Mind, 2 scientists that have actually tracked the proteins in every one of our physical cells to see what happens when you're feeling love and generosity and kindness, or when you're feeling lousy. And they have been able to track that there's actually a physical sensation. All the proteins in your cells move in the same direction when you're feeling good. And when you're feeling lousy, they move in the other direction. When you're feeling good, you can feel goosebumps. So this shows you that what you think about, which, by the way, is the only thing we human beings can control. That's it. What we think about, we can control how frequently we think it and be aware of how we feel when we think it. So the idea here is to stay positive, obviously. Always look for the good in things. It's always there. But basically, our fears, which are subconscious, are stronger than our intelligent mind. And so that's what this work is about, is understanding what's going on and then strengthening our intellectual faculties, our mental muscles, which are perception, imagination, intuition, memory, reason, will, and curiosity. I'll add that one. So this is all your higher side, your connection to the universe, to the energy, to God. This is where when you pray, your vibration raises. But your mind only receives what there's two minds, which I'll show you in a second. But your mind receives the information, and through repetition, it either becomes strategic thinking, like we're doing right now, being very present, or automatic, which is an emotional reaction to fear. We have 6 basic fears, and those fears are strong and they're real, and we have faith in them. And that's the age-old fight between good and evil. We're still doing that. So your subconscious, you've got a conscious mind. That's what we're using right now. The information comes in through the 5 senses. That's processes in our conscious mind. We're present. And then whatever we repeat in our thoughts over and over again will be impressed into the subconscious mind, where you can't see it, you can't reject it. In the conscious mind, you can reject information. You can walk away from this right now and not even listen to it. You have choice. But once you think something repeatedly over and over again, positive or negative, it is impressed into the subconscious mind and it lives like the truth. It's true. Every one of your fears you've experienced. And remember, every time you think about it again, not only do you imagine what happened when you were 6 or 7, but how lousy it felt. You lower the vibration in your body. We're built for a high vibration. So we're just outwitting, outsmarting by considering what I'm sharing with you. Let me see what Miss Sandra says. She always has something good to say. Yeah, absolutely. And I bore everything down you'll find. And I was there, Sandra, and all of you at one point. I totally agree that my unique ability is to articulate these complex concepts in very simple form. And that is what's taken 25 years to do. So absolutely correct. I wouldn't disagree. Let's see what else we have here. Actually, in 21 days, your mind will believe. Your beliefs, habits, paradigms are in your mind, not in your brain. That's what this is all about. One simply receives information. The mind processes it. So there you go. All right, got that? So the brain is an electronic switching station. It's an organ. It's in your head, for goodness sake. Mind is something that occurs. It's an activity. It's not an organ. So let's look at the next one, okay? Are you liking this so far? Let me just see what Ashif says. Speak your mind. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, let me go to the next slide. So this is a simple separation of this. Now, let's look at this. This is a little simple too, by the way. I know this is very juvenile, but you know what? We think in pictures. That's what we do. Most all of us, we don't think house, House, on the screen of our mind. We picture our house. You picture your car. In fact, close your eyes and picture your car and walk around it and notice, oh, one of the headlights needs cleaning from all the rain and fog. Oh, look where there are scratches by where I put the key in so many times. I think I'll touch that up. Keep your eyes closed. Now I want you to picture your front door. And I want you to now notice your front door. Oh, there's a storm door and the kids have kicked it in on the bottom from wanting to come in, or the dog has scratched. Now you can open your eyes. We think one thought at a time. You'll notice that the car didn't stay on the screen of your mind when the house came in. We actually think one thought at a time. And that's why it's so important to determine what you're thinking, how frequently you're thinking it, and the way it makes you feel. And over the last couple of months, I've not been feeling good about continuing the project, but I had given my word to myself. I don't break my word to myself. But in this instance, the universe was patient with me long enough and then came and talked to me in the middle of the night. And I woke up with the answer. How many times have you gone to bed at night with a problem that you just couldn't solve? Maybe it was one day problem or it was weeks and weeks. And then the next morning you wake up with the solution. Why didn't I think of that before? This is proof for me. Let's say empirical evidence that we are co-creators. And the way the universe communicates with us, or God communicates with us, or that we communicate with it, regardless of what label you put on this energetic force, that there's only one, that's how the universe knows what to send us. If we're thinking good, positive things and we have a goal, the more we think that way, that's the velocity with which the universe will send you what you want. But even if you're not doing it on purpose, if you're thinking a lot of negative things, I don't want any bills, right? It's a very low vibration, and you'll find there are more bills. I know it seems magical and mystical, but we are alchemists. Don't let the word fool you, because alchemy is literally taking thought energy, which is an idea, and our ability through visualization to turn it into physical matter. Visualization is the DNA of manifestation. That is the DNA. Okay, so you got the brain, which is like the radio, and I'm looking for any questions. Oh, okay, let me just do this. This is really good here. The more we play the software, the stronger it becomes. Yes, yes, and thinking is the software, right? Let me just see what Jason. Hi, Jason. Jason has a wonderful nonprofit, HR for You, and has TK Kitchen for children. You really want to check him out. The wheel of negative thinking that tries to drown the positivity. Yes, that's our subconscious mind populated with fears. There are 6 that we all have, except for Donald Trump and Elon Musk and people that were born into wealth. Nothing political here. It's less than a fraction of 1% of people that do not have the fear of poverty. But all the rest of us have all 6. And through repetition, to your point, through repetition, these fears, you've thought about them so many times, they've been impressed into the subconscious, and they're the truth. You have faith in those fears. The first one is fear of criticism and judgment. Yeah, I got time to do this. So you need to know that in your subconscious mind, so you get the information to the brain, it's passed on into the conscious mind. And then that's where we are right now. And this is where we can be faithful and positive. It feels good. We're learning. It's our natural way to learn. It's the most joyous thing. Just look at children. We're happy when we're learning. And then through repetition of bringing up that thought, positive or negative, gets impressed into the subconscious. You can't reject what's in the subconscious. You can disprove it. That's what I do. That's my work. Because it is the truth. We did have, number one, the fear of criticism or judgment. How many times were we told that our grades weren't good enough? People criticizing us without realizing it. But that has a lot to do with our self-image, and that usually starts at 6, 7, or 8. And here we are at 30, 40, and 50, still afraid to get on a stage because we were humiliated when we were 7 doing a book report and everybody laughed at us. So that's just a quick example. We all have that. The next one is fear of poverty. I can't afford it. How real is that? Look at what we're looking at. You all have experienced that. I have too. That awful feeling. Can I make the bills this month? And you do. Somehow your conscious mind finds the solution. Thank God for our conscious mind and connection to the universe. But honestly, have you ever spent a day or two depressed because of the fear of poverty? Like, how am I going to pay for things? I mean, it's real. This is what dominates our results. That's why only a few people out of 100 really achieve consistently. They know this process. This is the process that I teach, which is how you disprove those fears that have been around for a long time. Then there is fear of illness. Oh, well, how real was COVID? It's real. And it was awful. And when we think about it again, our vibration lowers. We don't want that, but we can't help it, right? It's attached. The emotions are attached to the visual image. So even if you're only 7 or 8, when you think about that humiliating time, you can see yourself in the classroom, you see all the kids laughing, and it feels awful. Then you have the fear of loss of a loved one. And this could be someone who died, a partner who you divorced, or a best friend that disappointed you and walked away. I just had that. It never stops, right? So that is the fear of loss of love of someone. And that's why trust is so important in faith, because that's the other side of it. Then you've got the fear of old age. Most of us have. I don't anymore because I'm already old now. And then death. So understand that the inner voices, there are actually 6, that when you get an idea to do something that you've never done before or you failed at, those voices are first to bat, and you only have one thought at a time. So even if it's a good idea to do something, the fear takes over that space and it feels lousy. So you say, well, I probably won't do that. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Right? How many times have we said that? Right? So what there is to understand with this model, and then we'll be complete with this part, the way you use your conscious mind to disprove the faith in your fears about you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you don't have enough money, nobody's going to love you, they always run away, I'm abandoned. We all have these things. Here's all there is to do. And I've been teaching this for 17 years, over 61 business quarters. And people do this quarter after quarter after quarter because you continue to get better and better at building the mental muscles, if you will, to go ahead and do things that you haven't done before. So this is how you disprove your fear. And it takes time, and it has to do with goal achievement. It has to be consistent, not haphazard, in spaced intervals over time to disprove the fear. It can't be just once because you've been thinking those fears all your life. One time isn't enough, but this is the process. Okay. Pick something that you have no clue how to do, but that you've fallen in love with. You don't have to know why, but you really love it. You want to bring it into the world. It'll help people. Or pick something that you failed at before that you really wanted to do and you still want to do. So this is going to bring up all your fears. When you complete this because of your desire, which is the first principle of success, the starting point of all achievement, when you achieve it, you have disproven the fear for the first time. You've proven your ability and even more your deservability. So you actually do deserve and you do have the ability, but you've got a cluster of fears that are real. They're like a board of directors. You're the CEO wanting to do things, and you've got these 6 lousy characters. Well, look, you can fire them one by one. And that's the work I've been doing for 16, 17 years. But I will tell you, even me still hears those voices. I've replaced them with the positive side, and I've overcome these lots of times, but you never actually reach perfection. It's the fun of how frequently can you set and achieve a goal following this process. Simply pick something you have no clue how to do, because your biggest fear is, well, how am I going to do it? You don't have to know how. In fact, you're not supposed to know how. This builds faith in your ability and your deservability. And here we are. Let me see if there's any questions. Okay, absolutely. Give me a call. Anybody who wants to talk about this, I would be happy to talk to you. Hey, Daniel, are you parking your car in Harvard Square today? Or Harvard Yard? All right. So you're enjoying this. Let's see. See what Ashif says. Something to think about. You're not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. Your thinking provides the awareness. Yeah, I love this, Ashif. So it's the frequency of thinking that opens up your connection to the universe. You see, let me just show you this. So, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So simply said, the brain is not the same as the mind. The mind has 2 parts, the conscious and the subconscious. These are your inner voices. You have the conscious voice here, which is the universe, God, your higher side, your intelligence, your logic. It's a feeling. It's thoughtfulness. But the subconscious is not thinking. It's reactive. It's filled with fear and a very low vibration, and it's strong. So that's the dilemma. How are we going to disprove those fears? It isn't enough to just say, I'll change it. It doesn't work that way. I can tell you. So this was really, really good. Let me see what Charles says, and then we'll just finish up with the last couple of things here. Humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain something of equal value, something must be lost. That's the law of sacrifice, giving up something of lesser value to make room for something of greater value. Well, see, I didn't know that. So this is awesome, Charles. I'm learning. There's a lot I don't know. I was in a room the other day with a bunch of people that know all the physical stuff about quantum physics and neurobiology, and I don't know any of that. Not really. Okay, so we're a little over, but I do want to finish this. So do you have any questions? Let's just see what Sandra says here. When we fear something, that's assigned to do it. Well, that is you that could be. Do things as yes. And you have to do it every time. It isn't good enough to set a goal and achieve it and then fail the next one. And then set another one. That's haphazard results that will not develop your self-image or your self-confidence. That will not give you any momentum. It'll just be a roller coaster for you. Well, how come this one worked and this one didn't? No one ever taught you these things. Now you're learning. Oh, I love that. Okay, so one of those 6 fears is the bully. Right? That's the bully. That's the first one, the fear of criticism. Oh, you're doing it wrong. Aren't you smart enough? I had a father who was a genius, right? Why don't you get these things? What's wrong with you, Leslie? Why don't you get this algebra? He's a genius. So the self-image through repetition becomes, I'm not smart enough. I'm just not smart enough. Okay, little excitement. The possibility of a Rada audiobook is available. Please wait to purchase. If you're going to purchase this book, I'll consider it a personal favor until March 16th. I'm honoring the Amazon economy boycott starting today through the 14th. And on the 15th, there's a book launch that I want to help with. So if you're going to buy it, please wait until the 16th. Thank you. And as we finish up today, I will play this song for you, which is the theme song. I wrote the lyrics. Aaron Gibson found the music and did the trailer. And this completes and puts to bed this phase of errata. And I'll still be talking about it because it's all about virtues, values, and soul-kissing love. But I want you to hear this and enjoy this. And yeah, we're running a little late here. Let me just see. Let me get this thing going. Here you go. What kind of love can transcend time in a breath and feel as fresh as the sun's morning dew? A love that lives forever in between the spaces of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. All at once and forever. Safe among the folds of warm inspiration and obsessive lightness, Two hearts swim through eons of time, one with wings, the other with vision, of a place and space where life is honored and entwined together. Connect forever when achieving Irada, the soft space for Lee and Van, star-crossed lovers, a love built on love of life over time and forever. Souls connect forever when achieving Irada, the soft space for Lee and Van, star-crossed lovers, a love built on love of life over time and forever. Thank you, my friends. Have a great week. Watch this again. Reach out to me. I can't wait to see you. It's a new dawn. It's a new day for feeling good and a new project. I'm so glad that you were here, and I trust that you found really good value today. I love each one of you and wish only the best for you.